Hi there, fellow musician friends and songwriters. This is a follow-up video to my tutorial on the Zoom R16. I'd like to thank everybody for the kind compliments you sent me. Some of you also had questions on how to mix, master, and transfer data from the SD card to your laptop. I'm going to show everybody how to do that today. Real quickly, I want to show you my setup. It's real simple. I have a pair of M audio monitors right here that I'll be using. I also use these Audio-Technica headphones for reference. The R16 is right there on the table. I'll be working from the couch. Real simple setup. So let's get to it right now. Okay, for starters, I pulled up a song of mine called Walk Away. And as you can see, I connected the M audio speakers to the RCA jacks in the Zoom. And I also would advise everybody to have one of these. This is a little old school, but this is basically a track sheet of the song. So I have all the instruments up there, so I know what I'm navigating, what I'm looking for. And this particular song, I already have the EQs that I kind of liked. I've pre-mixed this song prior to doing the video. But it would be a good idea to have a track sheet so you know exactly what you're doing. Okay, to get started, I want to make sure all the tracks that I'll be mixing are in play mode. So just a refresher, to make sure each track is in play mode, this light here wants to be lit up green. If I click that, the track is muted. If I click it again, it's in record mode. And if I click it again, now it's in play mode. So that's where I want to be. This is tracks 1 through 8 right here. Now I want to check on tracks 9 through 16. So I'm going to hit the 9 through 16 button. And the tracks that I need to mix here for the song are all lit up in green as well. So I'm going to go back to tracks 1 through 8. I'll click the button. And I'm going to mix tracks 1 and 2, which are the drums. So I'm going to push up the faders, and then come back over here and hit play. Now all the audio you hear is just coming through my M audio speakers. But I want to check the reverb. I want to assign a reverb for all the tracks. So I'm going to come up over here, and to assign the reverb, I'm going to hit the send and return effect. And when I hit that effect, I'll hit it again so you can see the screen. Is the name of the song. I'm going to hit send return again, and the reverb that's assigned right now is called small hall. Alright, I'm going to use the jog wheel to turn it, to change it, and you can hear the reverb changing. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use bright room, I believe. Okay. So now I'm going to come back over here, and remember we're mixing the drums. So I want these drums in stereo. I want them left and right. So to do that, I'm going to come up over here, and I'm going to hit the pan EQ button. And now you can see that I'm in the pan and EQ section. I'm going to come back over here, and I want to work on track 1. So I'm going to hit this button. You'll see the light change from here to here. So now I come back to the screen, and now we are working on track 1. So I'm going to use the jog wheel. I'm going to turn it to the left. And now track 1 drums are panned all the way to the left. Now I can come back over here and click the right button, and I'll be working on the track 2, but you could also, if you so choose, you see it says track 1, you could also just use this arrow button right here, and you'll see it change. Now I'm working on track 2. And again, I'm going to pan the drums on track 2 all the way to the right just by turning the jog wheel. Okay. Now if I use the arrow button down, you can see the screen change again. And now we're working on the EQs. So now I can EQ how I like it. So if I want to lower the highs, I could take the highs down a little bit. Hit the down button again. Okay, the song just ended. But so as you can see, I could change the EQ just by clicking the down button. And here's also the, let me cue the song back up to the top. And this is where you control the effect of the reverb, how much you want on it. So I'll pull down the track 1 volume, and you'll see just by turning this, you can hear right now that the reverb is totally dry. I'm going to turn it back up to 50. And that's locked into place. So to get out of this screen, I have the EQ set up how I want it. I'm just going to hit exit. And now I'm just going to use the faders to get the drums where I want them. So the drums are panned as I want them. And you want to check this light. You don't want to go into the red. I'll push it in the red a little bit. You don't want it to go into the red. So I'll leave it there for now. And now I'll move on to the next track. Alright, so I'm going to refer to my track sheet over here. I'm going to work on track 3 now, which is acoustic guitar. So I'm going to cue it to the top, hit play. I'm going to mute the drums for now, and I'm just going to work on the acoustic guitar track. I'm going to turn up the fader. And again, as we did before, I'll hit EQ. Make sure I'm working on the right track. Track 3. Here's the reverb that I have for the acoustic guitar. Make some adjustments. And pull off a little of the highs. And now I'll just see where it lies in with, I gotta hit exit to get out of the screen. I'll see where it sits in with the drums, turn the drums back on. And I'm just gonna carry that process out for each track. And in the next scene, you'll see all the other tracks up. And then basically from there we'll move on to mixing and do the master. Alright, so one more thing I want to show you is the faders. Now, of course we could use the faders manually like this, but you could also control them from the pan and EQ section. And I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm going to hit pan and EQ right here. And I'll take it to the top. I'm working on track 8 right now. As you can see, the light's indicated. And you see track 8 come up. And this is this is the same section we were in before. As I'm pressing the button up, there's the pan. And as I press the down button, if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can see that there's the fader right there. So the level is set at 22. Now if I move this fader up and down, you're going to see that number change. So I'm moving it up and you see it's at 50, 51. So you could also, if you want a really accurate account of where your faders are at, you could do that as well. And then I'm going to move this down to 21, this particular track. And you can also control it with a jog wheel if you want, like that. And then if I want to adjust the track 7 fader, I could just do that. And again, I can use the fader itself or the jog wheel. So I'm going to turn this up to 100. All right, so now a lot of people have the question of how the faders work when you switch channels. Right over here, let me get out of this screen. Okay, so the faders are set for tracks 1 through 8, and that's going to stay in the memory of the R16. So when I change over to 9 through 16, I can move all these faders down if I want, and the faders on tracks 1 through 8 are already locked in place. They're going to stay like that. So now I could adjust all the faders on 9 through 16, and now this will be, if I leave it like this, 9 through 16 will be kept within the memory. You just have to remember, if you go back, let's say 1 through 8, now when you're in 1 through 8, the faders that prior to going through 9 through 16, they're all in place. So even though these faders are all different now, the way you had the faders set up on 1 through 8 is going to be the way it's going to sound. The only way it's going to change is if you move the fader again. But just always remember what tracks you're working on. So if you want to work through 1 through 8, make sure this is lit. You might think you're working on 9 through 16, and this is lit, so all the adjustments you're making, you're not hearing on 9 through 16. That's a mistake that's easy to make. Just remember which tracks you're working on. All right, so I mixed each individual instrument. I have the mix just about where I want it. I'm in the ballpark. Let's give a quick listen, and then we'll move on to mastering. And remember, right now you're hearing it through a microphone on the camera. I'll put a final mix at the very end of the video. All right, so let's move on to mastering. And mastering, using the mastering effects is really easy. Let's go up here and we're going to click on Insert Effect. And you'll see the screen just changed. Right now we're in a section where we have the effects for the mics. We don't want to be there, we want to be in the mastering section. So I'm just going to come down here, I'm going to click the button on the right, you'll see the screen change. And we want to go to the section where it says mastering, which is right there. Okay, now if I click, right now there's the maximizer mastering effect. If I click the enter button, that is going to turn off. So then it says insert effect off. So you want to make sure the effect is on. Now we also want it to be on every track. So what we do is we use the down button right here, and you'll see where it says edit. Now we're going to move across using the right button. You'll see it says record signal right there. We want input source. I'm going to click enter, and it says master. I already have it set on the master, but it might be set to something like this. And if it's set to something like that, it just inputs 3 and 4. And then 5, 6, 7, 8, you'll see as I'm scrolling, track 3, 4, we want it on master. So there it is on the master. So now we have the mastering effect, and you'll hear the difference in sound. This is a very hot effect. I know that, so I'm just going to pull the fader down a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press play, and then I'm going to scroll through all the different effects. You'll hear it change, okay? Start scrolling here. So that's all of them. I kind of like Maximizer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to Maximizer. And now I'm going to set the main fader. We don't want it to go into the red. You know, we want it to stay out of the red, which will be over here. So I'm going to hit play. All right, before we do a final mixdown, I also want to show you that you can make adjustments to the mastering effect. Okay, so we're in the Maximizer. If I hit enter, you'll see the screen change. Maximizer is on. Now, if I use the down button, input source, I'm going to scroll until I see edit. There's edit. I'm going to click enter. And there's a 3-band compression. I could turn it off by hitting enter again. I could turn it back on. And I can move down. And then I can make adjustments just like we did with each individual track that we were EQing. And you could just make all these adjustments by, you know, right there, the mids. I could change the mids. And also, let me show you another thing that's kind of interesting right here. If you see, it says mid 24. All right, now this is the actual, let's say, I'll call it factory preset. Now, if I were to change that, you'll see a little E pop up. Looks like an E to me, I guess. So, if you want to get back to the original preset, I'll keep scrolling, and then you'll see the E disappear. So then we're back at 24. So that's a good little tip if you want to know if you changed anything on the presets. Okay, so again, if you want to make adjustments to the mastering effect, you could do that. And there's all sorts of things you could scroll through. You know, normalizer is off. 3-band EQ is off. Dimension is off. Dimension is kind of cool. I'll let you hear that real quick. Hear the difference? I kind of like the dimension effect on there, but there are all different things you could make adjustments to your liking. Okay, so now let's do the mixdown. Okay, so now we're ready to mix down to a master, and any tracks that you want to be printed on the master, you have to make sure that the tracks are lit up in green. And to record the master, what we're going to do right here is we're going to hit this button, and now you'll see it says master. So now we're ready to do our master mixdown. Any adjustments you make while you're recording will be printed to the master. So if you want to boost the guitar solos in a certain spot or the vocals, all the moves that you make will be printed to the master. All right. So now I'm going to go back to the beginning of the song, and I don't want the clicks in. So I'm going to go back to the drum tracks, which is on 1 and 2. Okay. I'm going to play it. You'll hear the clicks, and then I'm going to stop just before the song kicks in. Okay, so now I'm ready to get the song started. I know I want to make some adjustments to the vocals, so I'm going to, in advance, I'm going to go back to the vocals where they're at, and I'll make fades on the vocals as we're going. But now we're ready to go. So we hit record. I'm going to hit play. The music is going to start. I'm not going to make you sit through the whole song, so I'll take you to like a certain point, and then you'll see a couple of adjustments I make as we're going, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so there we have it. Now if we want to listen to the playback of that, I'm going to click this button again. It's going to turn green, and you'll see all the different tracks go, the green light will go out. Okay, so now we can listen to the playback of the master with all the moves we made. I'm going to turn up the fader a little bit. Alright, so there it is. Now that master track that we just recorded is on the SD card. Now I'm going to show you how to deal with the SD card and transfer files from the SD card to your laptop. And a lot of people had questions on that. But real quick, if you want to get back to working on the tracks, you're going to have to click this button again. And you'll see this green light will go out and all these will light up green again. And there you have it. So now let's move to talking a little bit about transferring files. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to transfer all the data that's on the SD card to your laptop. It's real simple. First, we're going to shut the power off on the Zoom. You'll see the project is being saved. And SD card is right on the side over here. There's a little door right there. Just going to pop that up and press the button in, and the SD card comes out. Okay, so now I'm going to put the SD card in my laptop. As you can see, it's a 16 gigabyte SD card. Put that in a slot right here, and you'll see it pop up on the screen. There it is. And you can see that I have 10 gigabytes free. And we're going to double click on that, and you'll see all the projects that I have in there. So I have quite a bit of material recorded on this one card. So the 16 gigabyte card holds a lot. Now the particular song I was working on, Walk Away, is project number 3. So I'm going to double click on that, and then you'll see audio. I'm going to double click on that. And now here, oh, I double click too fast. Here are all the files that we have. These are all the master recordings I did right there. And as we scroll down, here are all the mono tracks. These are all the individual tracks. If I double click on this one, that's going to be the drums. So I'll double click on that, and you'll hear the drums. Okay, now if I guess the most recent master is right here. If I double click on that, you'll hear the master recording that we just did. And that's basically it. Now what you could do is you could transfer all these files over to Cubase or Pro Tools or whatever you'd like to do with them. But, and of course it would help if you rename the tracks. But these are all mono tracks, you know, the bass, the guitar, the drums, and all that. And up here is all the master mixes we did. These are just stereo files up top. So I hope that helps. I'm going to let you hear the final mix that I just did. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them, and hopefully I could help you with any issues you might encounter. And thanks again. See you next time.